Hello, this is TelecomTV. We're in London, in Shoreditch, in the city at the Internet of Insurance event, and I'm talking with Stephen Mendel, who is the CEO and co-founder of Bought by Many. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.
Right, tell us what Bought by Many does.
Sure. So we use a combination of search and social media to bring individuals together to create communities of people with the same insurance need. We then help those communities to get a better deal on their insurance than they could get as individuals on their own. So this is the idea of using group buying, which many people are familiar with. They've just not come across it in financial services, but intuitively it makes sense to them. So we bring this concept to the insurance industry. This works for consumers because they get a better deal on their insurance, better being cheaper or something about benefits. And this works for the insurance industry because we help them target the exact risks that they want to.
I was going to ask you that because this is, again, yet another disruptor that's,
Yes.
disturbing the even tenor of the insurance industry.
For the better.
Do they actually think that?
They definitely do. It's a win-win for consumers and for insurers. So for insurers, as I was just saying, we help them target the exact risk they want. So unlike a typical intermediary who just brings them a scattergun approach of type of risks that have walked through their door, we're very clear with the insurer that they should tell us what risks they want. They should help us to target them, to target those risks directly to the kind of risk that the insurer wants. That's our responsibility to use a combination of search and social media to do that, but we absolutely deliver the exact risk the insurers asked us for.
Now, the platform you're using, is it off the shelf or is it bespoke?
Completely proprietary, as a lot of the things do these days. It uses a lot of open source code, but the vast majority of this code we've created ourselves. We've been live for coming up on 4 years in the UK, and we have 175,000 members across 285 groups and working with 25 different insurers.
You have seen the insurance industry change because your background is as an actuary.
This is true.
You are a gamekeeper turned poacher, or poacher turned gamekeeper. I'm not sure how to put it.
Neither of the above, I think.
Okay.
I think that the way we would describe it is that to be successful in any industry, you have to have a combination of the relevant skills and bring them to bear at the right time and in the right way. I have two co-founders. One is a technology guy and the other is a digital marketeer. And with my insurance knowledge, these are the three tenets that we think are critical to be successful in the insurance industry for tomorrow.
Okay, let's focus directly on the insurance market, and we can see from what you've been saying, there's a dichotomy here. There are two camps, evidently. There's the old, established, well-known, venerable even insurance industry,
yes,
which has always been pretty good at maintaining and defending the status quo, and they come from, like you, they come from a background of knowledge, yes, which they've built up literally over centuries, actuarial tables newer than that in many cases, or whatever, but they've got that base of knowledge and they have a customer base on which they have a huge amount of data, but in the past they have not used properly to realise its full potential.
Yes.
Now, with the other side of the equation, we're having lots and lots of basically startups, new ones, new companies, disruptors coming in who have lots and lots of IT knowledge but no knowledge of the insurance industry whatsoever. It's just another thing for them to have a go at. What's the balance there, and what are you seeing in terms of 4 years of this? What are you seeing as a result happening within the insurance industry itself and amongst your client base?
So I think that I would disagree a little with your analogy of the industry and the new entrants. For us, the issues with the existing incumbent, the large-scale players, are twofold. Firstly, legacy back office systems, so they're very constrained by large-scale infrastructure.
Indeed.
That is immovable almost. And we see that they're also constrained by a lack of consumer understanding. So what they deliver to consumers is what the insurance industry has always delivered to consumers in a way that the insurance industry has dictated and determined themselves. And we think that this is time for this to change. And so everything that we do is not just mobile friendly, but mobile first. Everything we do is socially integrated. So if people are familiar with Facebook and Twitter, they'll be familiar with how to use our platform. Everyone spends a lot of time on their phone, on the bus, wherever they might be, and they're not really interested in only buying insurance over the telephone or online. And this is exactly how we operate. And critically, we also bring to individuals the kind of pricing structure and product design that they would choose for themselves, not that which the industry has delivered to them over 10, 20, 100, 150 years.
I was going to say to you, because, yeah, all right, I take your point, but a lot of people I'm speaking to here over the past couple of days have said, look, we've been sat on a huge amount of data, historical data, we've built up literally over centuries, we've still got it, and the new stuff being added all the time, it's there, but we haven't had the need, the skills, the ability, whatever it may be, to realise the potential of that by doing proper data mining and the big data and all the rest of it, and then personalising it so you can aim directly at what you want. That is changing within the insurance industry as we speak.
Yes.
Is that having an impact upon what you do?
Very much so. And actually I would say that it's not changing the insurance industry anything like fast enough. So one of the things that we do a lot is to integrate with social platforms, Facebook and Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, etc. And we bring the vast amounts of data that exist in those platforms and marry that together with typical insurance data. And that's very important for us because we think that understanding how people describe themselves and their behaviors and their attitudes that they express in every part of their lives is an important part of who they are and should be used to help them get a better deal on their insurance. So we take traditional data sources, as you describe, we take new data sources and we bring these two together, we marry them up, and we use that to help people to get a better insurance experience.
Now, we've been talking about a UK experience,
Yes.
British experience,
Yes.
But there's the rest of the world, as we
Very
know.
much so, yes.
And I know when we were talking off camera that you're involved in other parts of the world.
That's right.
What are you finding as being the differences between the model here and elsewhere?
Right, so good question, thank you. For us, we have a branded business in the UK. Individuals join a bought by many group. They know who bought by many is. They describe us as sitting on their side of the table as being a very consumer advocate orientated business. Overseas, and in China, for example, we have a completely white labeled offering where we are purely a technology provider. We have a deal which went live last July with Ping An in China, where we provide everything that we do in the UK, but it's in Chinese, it's badged Ping An, it operates off Chinese social and search platforms, and very much it's designed to work in a Chinese way of working. So individuals there would join a Ping An group. There are 7 travel insurance groups we launched with Ping An last July, and they would find those through search or social inside China, and through there they would get access to a very specifically designed travel insurance policy that was designed for the needs of that group.
Are you looking elsewhere in the world? I mean, can you imagine that the North America, particularly the US market, must be very hard to get into, and many of the big European markets as well?
Yes, so actually we see the European markets as being a lot easier than other parts of the world. So Brexit aside, and we sincerely hope that this does not happen, we have full European permissions. This was an important part of our regulatory application so that we could enter into other parts of Europe. And you will see us doing that on a branded basis. So this is just a requirement for us to notify the regulator of those countries to be able to enter. It's a 24-hour process. And you will see us over the next couple of years entering into other countries in Europe in exactly the same business model as we have in the UK. Outside Europe, you will see us follow the same business model we have in China, where we will have a white labelled arrangement, where we partner with local providers who have all the regulatory permissions, and as I say, we act purely as a technology provider.
Absolutely fascinating stuff. It's very interesting to see how things are changing. Stephen Mendel, thank you very much.
And thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.